The heavy silver fork clattered against my crystal wine glass. The sound shattered the dining room. Mark always preferred a woman who knew her place. My mother-in-law, Evelyn, purred. She smiled directly at Chloe. Chloe was Mark's toxic, cheating ex-girlfriend. She was sitting right across from me at the Thanksgiving table. Evelyn had invited her. Mark's hand tightened around mine under the tablecloth. His knuckles turned white. I looked around the room. Evelyn's friends were smirking. Chloe smirked too, adjusting her low-cut dress. I felt the sting of hot tears pricking the corners of my eyes. The public humiliation was complete. Evelyn leaned back, smoothing her silk napkin. She thought she had won. She had no idea what happened next. The dinner had been a trap from the moment we walked through the door. Evelyn didn't greet me. She only greeted Mark. Then the doorbell rang a second time. In walked Chloe. "Oh, what a delightful coincidence," Evelyn had gasped, entirely fake. Now the turkey sat cooling on our plates, completely forgotten. "Remember that summer in Cabo, Mark?" Chloe asked, leaning forward. She touched his arm. Mark pulled his arm away instantly. "Chloe, stop," Evelyn chimed in, her voice dripping with artificial sweetness. "Oh, let her speak, Mark. They had such a passionate connection, real history." She looked at me. "Not like some rushed office romances." The table fell dead silent. Evelyn's sister gasped softly. Everyone was watching me, waiting for me to cry, waiting for me to run out of the room. Why did Evelyn hate me so much? It started 3 years ago, the day Mark proposed to me. Evelyn didn't congratulate us. She called Mark into her study. I followed them, standing just outside the heavy oak door. "She is a nobody, Mark," Evelyn hissed. "She comes from nothing." "I love her, Mom," Mark replied. "Love doesn't buy legacy," Evelyn snapped. "Chloe's family owns the country club. This girl will ruin your social standing." Then came the ultimate threat. "Marry her, and I will cut you out of the family trust completely." Mark didn't hesitate. He walked out of the room, grabbed my hand, and we married at City Hall the next month. Evelyn had played nice for 2 years. It was all an act. She was just waiting for the perfect moment to strike back. Back at the Thanksgiving table, the silence stretched. I looked at Mark. His face was a mask of pure rage. Did he still have feelings for Chloe? Doubt is a poisonous thing. It creeps into your mind when you are at your lowest. Chloe leaned closer to Mark, something in his ear. I couldn't take it anymore. I pushed my chair back. The screech of wood against hardwood floors was deafening. "Excuse me," I whispered. I stood up and walked toward the hallway. "Don't be so sensitive, dear," Evelyn called out behind me. The room erupted into quiet laughter. I reached the bathroom and locked the door. My hands were shaking. I looked in the mirror. Was our marriage strong enough to survive his mother's malice? A knock came at the door. "Sarah, open up." It was Mark. I unlocked the door and let him in. "We are leaving," he said, his voice trembling with anger. "Right now." "No," I said, wiping a tear. "If we leave now, she wins. She wants me to run." Mark looked at me, his eyes softening. "I don't care about her winning. I care about you. We need to go back out there," I insisted. "We face them together." Mark took a deep breath. He nodded. "Okay, we go back, but I am ending this tonight." We walked back into the dining room hand in hand. Evelyn looked disappointed to see me back so soon. Chloe was pouring herself more wine. "Oh, look who decided to rejoin the adults," Evelyn scoffed. Mark didn't sit down. He stood at the head of the table. "Mom," Mark said, his voice echoing, "you need to apologize to my wife." Evelyn laughed out loud. "Apologize? For what? For telling the truth?" Chloe chimed in. "Mark, honey, don't be dramatic. We're just reminiscing." "Shut up, Chloe," Mark snapped. Evelyn slammed her hand on the table. "Do not speak to our guest that way." Then she dropped the bomb she had been saving all night. "If you disrespect Chloe or me under this roof again, you can kiss your career goodbye." The room held its breath. Mark worked at his uncle's investment firm. Evelyn controlled the board of directors. She was threatening his entire livelihood. "Is that a threat?" Mark asked quietly. "It is a fact," Evelyn smiled coldly. Choose wisely, son, your future or her. The stakes couldn't be higher. If Mark chose me, we lose everything he worked for. If he chose his career, our marriage was over. Chloe looked triumphant. Evelyn raised her wine glass to her lips. Mark reached into his jacket pocket. He pulled out a manila envelope. He threw it onto the center of the table. It landed right in front of Evelyn, splashing a bit of gravy. "What is this nonsense?" Evelyn sneered. "Open it," Mark said. Evelyn frowned and opened the envelope. She pulled out a stack of financial documents. As she read them, the color completely drained from her face. "Where did you get these?" she whispered. Her hands started to shake. "I've been auditing the firm's charity foundation, Mom," Mark said. "You've been skimming millions for years." The entire table went pale. Evelyn's sister gasped. Chloe looked confused, realizing the power dynamic had just shifted. "You wouldn't dare," Evelyn breathed, her voice cracking. "I already did," Mark replied. "The board received these files an hour ago. Emergency meeting is tomorrow morning." Evelyn stood up, her chair flying backward. "I am your mother!" she screamed. "And Sarah is my wife," Mark shouted back, his voice booming. "You tried to destroy my marriage. You brought a toxic stranger into our lives to humiliate the woman I love." He turned to Chloe. "And you! Get out of my sight before I call the police for trespassing." Chloe grabbed her purse and bolted out the front door without saying a word. Mark looked back at his mother. She looked small, defeated. "You are monstrous," Mark said softly. Mark reached down and took my hand. He didn't look back. We walked out of the mansion and into the cool November air. The heavy wooden door shut behind us for the last time. We got into the car. For a long time, there was only silence. Then Mark looked at me. I finally chose the right family. I smiled. For years, Evelyn believed money made people powerful. But standing there in sweatpants, sharing cold burgers, I realized something. Love had beaten legacy. And somehow, those $5 burgers tasted better than the $1 million Thanksgiving she'd spent months planning. That becomes memorable.